Chicken stuffed with mozzarella, sun-dried tomatoes and pesto is a beautiful combination. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to wrap it in prosciutto di Parma ham. So first thing we need to do is to make our filling. I'm going to use some of these beautiful products here. So first of all is some of this mozzarella, okay, so made with buffalo milk. So I'm just going to use half of this, should be enough. So this is it here, the PGI logo. Comes from the part of the Simply Better Italian collection. So we're going to dice this and then we're going to put it into the bowl. And even what I'm making here is lovely over toasted bread, like a bruschetta, something like that would work really well, or a topping for pizza. But we're going to stuff our chicken breast. So into the bowl, so that's about half of the mozzarella. That should be okay. Now, let me talk to you about these beautiful sun-dried tomatoes. So they are stored, first of all, in some olive oil, extra virgin olive oil, and they've been drying in the sun for up to 3 days. So there's some lovely herbs in there and some extra virgin olive oil, and they are absolutely spectacular. So they're lovely as a little antipasta if you want it with nice toasted bread, that kind of thing. So I'm going to dice this. So I'm going to keep some of the oil too because there's loads of flavour in this. And this goes into the bowl. Now, there we go. Okay. We're going to bind the whole thing with some beautiful pesto. So this is some fresh pesto. So this is part of the Simply Better collection here. So again, you have your lovely basil, your extra virgin olive oil, your toasted pine nuts, a little touch of some parmesan too, and it's really, really beautiful. So we're going to mix this all together. So I'll just show you this. Going to put a touch of salt into it. So a pinch of salt goes in there. And then we're going to get our chicken and we're going to start to wrap this. So we are. So I just want to preheat just my pan nice and low. You're going to see why in a moment. So I'm using the corn-fed chicken. I'll just talk to you about prosciutto di Parma ham. I got to visit this gentleman in Parma. I'd never been there before. And this is just Italian pork and it's cured, this one here, for 24 months. It's absolutely fantastic. And this is the sign here. If you look at the crown, they insist of quarter of their packaging having that stamp there. So you know you're buying prosciutto di Parma. Now, we're going to just open this out. So it's sliced, lovely flavour. And even if you want this with the sun-dried tomatoes and this as an antipasta, always at room temperature, it's always much nicer to eat. Okay, so we're just going to get one of the pieces of ham. I'll probably put two around it to secure it. We're going to get the chicken breast. So this is the corn-fed chicken here. And then what we're going to do is place it, and I'm going to make an incision here. So I'm going to try to not cut through the actual chicken. That's really important. Now using the mozzarella and the tomatoes and the pesto, we're going to pack this in here. So be as generous as you possibly can with this mixture. So we're going to stuff the two of them, two of the chicken breasts. Now with the little fillet, fold it over like that. It's a little bit fiddly. This is the hardest part of the recipe, I think so, is wrapping this. And then always to secure it, I'm going to get another sheet. So look at how wafer thin that is. And I just like, and even my twins, they just love to eat this just at room temperature. There's something really, really beautiful. So just completely wrap that. Don't waste any of it. So that's one of them done there. Okay. And we're going to do the next one now. So keep that nice there. So bring over the next breast of chicken. Have your ham nice and thin. So the prosciutto Parma, you can see it is a little bit fiddly. But that, you know, when you want to make a little pocket just using the point of the knife. So if you can see the way I'm opening that out there. Okay, and it's really, really, really important. And then we're going to spoon this in here. All this lovely mixture. The mozzarella, the pesto, that on top of a pizza. If you're making your own pizza, is gorgeous. Even over some toasted bread, it is just to die for. So wrap this here and then get another piece of the ham. And just one tip, if you're going to eat this ham just on its own, very, very simple, always have it at room temperature. So that's our two chicken breasts. We're going to pan fry this. Okay, my pan is on nice and hot. I'm just going to wash my hands. So I'm going to go over here. So after handling raw chicken, make sure you always wash your hands. And of course you had the ham too, so give your hands a really good wash. All right. So we're going to seal this off. We're going to use some extra virgin olive oil for this. And of course, a little bit of butter. So good Irish chicken. Look for the board be a quality mark. And then we also have good Irish butter. So it's kind of like a cross between beautiful Italian ingredients and great Irish ingredients. So bringing over your board, and we're going to seal this in here. And what I like to do is to seal it in what we call presentation side. In a nice hot pan. This can be done on the barbecue, but I'm going to actually seal it off in the pan. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to transfer it into an oven-proof dish. So we're going to finish it off in the oven. The oven is a nice hot oven. It's at 200. I already have 2 of the chicken breasts done, so I can show you them in a moment. So we're going to get this nice and brown. So the butter will give flavour. A lot of people have been asking me on Instagram, why do you use oil and butter? First of all, whether you use rapeseed oil, which is an Irish oil, or you use extra virgin olive oil, when you put butter in with them, it stops the butter from burning, because butter doesn't have a high smoke temperature, but it has the most delicious flavour. So that's the way I cook. Even when I'm cooking fish, oil and butter, oil and butter. And I just think we have some great butter here. So the secret into this is to get a nice bit of colour onto the actual Parma ham. Okay? So just to recap, 1 chicken breast per serving, 2 slices of the Parma ham, and try and get the prosciutto di Parma. This is matured for 24 months. We use some sun-dried tomatoes, pesto, and some mozzarella. So a half a ball of mozzarella done 2 chicken breasts, and that will keep covered in your fridge for an extra couple of days, no problem at all. Okay, so we're going to flip this over. I want to show you this. That's what I want. That beautiful kind of caramelization. And even don't worry if the cheese begins to ooze out a little bit. Don't be worrying about that. It'll be absolutely fine. To serve with this, I'm going to cook some pasta. I'm going to talk to you about that in a moment. I have some asparagus and I have some sprouting broccoli. So I'm going to serve both of them, but I'm going to use the pan just to warm them up. So we seal this off. It's still raw in the middle. Remember that. It will take at least 20 minutes for this to cook. So I'm going to transfer the chicken onto this nice oven-proof dish. We've sealed off that lovely Parma ham, and then all that lovely juices. Look at that. That butter, that oil, and that smell of that beautiful Parma ham. So if you were doing this, like, say you were doing this maybe for a dinner or something like that, you could seal off the chicken, have it ready, and then pop it into the oven. So the pan is quite hot, so I'll actually turn that off for now. I'm going to pop that into the oven. I already have one done. Okay, so I'll just bring this and I'll show it to you. So the oven's at 200 degrees. So remember, if you're taking anything out of the oven, make sure you have a good tea towel or oven gloves. So they need to go in there. So I've done this about 20 minutes ago. So you just test it, and it's firm, so it is. So if it's anyway soft, it means that it's not cooked. Now we're going to let this rest just for a couple of minutes. We're going to very quickly cook some fresh pasta, and then we're going to do our green vegetables, and that's really the dish done. So you can serve this with potatoes or rice. We'll just show you about some of the pastas here. The first one I'm going to show you is here, the spaghetti. So I'm going to use that because that's a nice quick one to cook with. Okay, so this is the fresh pasta from the Simply Better collection, made of free-range eggs. So I'm going to put in a nice handful of this. And the twins love pasta, absolutely love it, and it cooks so fast. So if you want to store this when you open it, don't leave it in the fridge like that. Wrap it in cling film and then into the fridge. That's really really important. This is the pappardelle pasta. So this is a wider pasta, so it is, and it's a really beautiful pasta. So these are all different shapes, slightly different texture in this one. It's kind of like a rigatoni pasta, so it's a small little tube, and it kind of see the texture there. It kind of catches the sauce. So if you're doing like a bolognese or you're doing like a tomato sauce, these will all work really well. Okay, so salt. I've got to put salt into the water. Roughly about half a teaspoonful goes in there, and I'm just going to let that cook. Now onto my pan. So we have the flavors from our really nice chicken, that's come out of the oven. So we're going to serve them with some asparagus, okay, some broccoli. That's what I have. I'm going to put them into the pan. You can hear that nice sizzle. But I'm going to put some more butter, and I'm going to put a couple of spoonfuls of the pasta water. So you're kind of steam frying this. Now you need to be careful. It cooks really quickly. So with the asparagus, you can blanch it, and that means in a saucepan of boiling water. Serve it without even peas. You might even say, oh, it doesn't even need any vegetables, but I think this works really well. So a pinch of salt in here, and then we just want to check on our pasta. So using the tongs here, it doesn't take long to cook. You should cook pasta al dente, and this is fresh pasta. Dried pasta will obviously take a little bit longer. So I'm going to turn down my vegetables. I want to keep the colour. You have a nice look at that. So you have the sprouting broccoli. This is from our own garden, and some lovely asparagus. And there's a lovely Irish farm, Drummond House, who are growing some beautiful Irish asparagus. So it's lovely to support as many Irish producers as we can. So I'm going to just strain off my pasta. I'm told in Italy when they're checking if pasta's cooked that they get it and throw it against the wall. I don't know if that's true, and I've never done it. And I've been to Italy a few times. I've never seen it. It might be a little myth. So a little bit of butter. I love to put butter in my pasta. So I'll just show you this, and then we're just going to put a little bit of some chopped flat leaf parsley, which I have here. So a nice Italian flat leaf parsley. We're just going to literally tear this up and put this in with our pasta. So butter, a little bit of salt. Just kind of rip that up there. I'll hold that in there and you can just see that. And you mix it all together. And just to toss it, then what we do is we have our lovely carving fork here. Okay, so we're going to serve this up. We're going to get our chicken, because for me this is the star of the show. I'll use this breast here, and we're going to slice this. So we're going to slice it just, you can see the way that's lovely, beautifully stuffed. Can you see that there? That's gorgeous. The smell is just fantastic. So you can see the sun-dried tomatoes, all that. Look at that. That's beautiful. Fantastic. And then the very end is what you call the chef's cut. So that's off camera, what I will be devouring in a few minutes. So we're going to arrange this then onto the plate. So I'll bring up my plate here. So just look at that. Beautiful, lovely sliced chicken. That crispy prosciutto di Parma. And then you have those lovely sun-dried tomatoes, which are gorgeous. Okay, then we'll just get a little bit of the juice from the actual cooking dish, which I baked off in the oven. So we sealed it off in the pan. There we go. Then we're going to get our pasta and then our vegetables. Might need a bigger plate. It's actually a very generous serving, so a nice, I'm just going to use this here. So the pasta with some butter onto the side. Just using the carving fork, just gives you a nice little height on that. And then our lovely vegetables. So we've got some asparagus, we've got some sprouting broccoli. Mix it up, whatever you want to serve this with. But I think this dish is so full of flavour. For me, the star of the show is the chicken. And with that lovely fresh pasta. I'm just going to wipe my plate. And there we go. Isn't that a very pretty, delicious dish? You can serve the chicken breast whole, like that, like family style. So that's what it looks like when it comes out of the oven. And then you can just let everyone help themselves, but don't forget that beautiful juice there. You can drizzle a little bit of extra pesto if you want, just to garnish the plate. Just a tiny little drizzle like that, just along the plate, but there might even be enough. Sure, I'm getting very chefy here. But there you have it. So that is my Parma wrapped chicken breast, just stuffed with mozzarella, pesto and sun-dried tomatoes, some buttered pasta and some nice green vegetables. I hope you try this. It's super quick, super delicious, and keep up the great cooking and enjoy this recipe. Thanks a million.